So Kunal, when part of product craftsmanship also requires having like really deep insight about consumers, and insights are very, very difficult. I generally always struggle with it because you have a lot of information and data and trends and patterns, but that insight on which you can make either a product feature, sometime a strategy choice. I know I think you think a lot about this. You have your own process. What do you do to come up with good insights, and when do you know you really have a good insight?
I don't think you can become good at it in a short period of time. It takes a lot of iteration because you have to test your insight and hypothesis so many times that you become good at the gut for one period of time. But I think it comes from this inherent need to find a hack in life.
Yeah.
You have to believe that there is some insight that will create an interesting wedge. And I think believing in this thing, I think I read in the Peter Thiel book, he's like, what is the one thing that you believe the world disagrees with you? I think this need to have this strong opinion that nobody else seems to have. But a lot of times people have very dumb opinions for the sake of looking cool. So it comes from combination of truth-seeking behavior, but the need to abstract the insight, right? And I think the best people who have insights are the people who can marry multiple domains. Because insights are on the intersections of two domains, right? What you note, I remember seeing this beautiful chart that the odds of getting a Nobel Prize was 22x higher if you also had performance arts as a background as a scientist. So you know how to perform music and still do that. And I think what happens is the brain gets wired differently to connect different fields. But a lot of times when we make conjectures about different topics with different things, people ridicule you. And most people therefore don't do that, right? But if you do not have that problem of being ridiculed for making these very broad generalizations, and then have a rigor of validating the generalization consistently, you will generate insights, right? Let's take an example. I once wrote long ago that valency of a element creates are you more reactive or not, right? So if you have more valencies, you will be more reactive. If you have less valencies, you are less reactive. And therefore, they are called noble gases, right? And I'm like, it's an interesting thing that, is this something that can be extended to humans also? That what if you have low and low valencies, which means you are hardest to get reaction out of, and therefore, is being noble a function of that, right? Now, it doesn't make any sense, but I see will make a pattern out of it and see. So basically, therefore, I always notice that maturity is always consistent in people who are hardest to get reactions from.
Right. Got it.
So I will make these broad stroking connections.
And this requires, I guess, multiple things. One is exposure to different things. Like if you didn't know anything about, valency of, electron, the atoms and noble gases and so on. So you're like, how do you give yourself exposure to different things? And then it's also require reflection thinking time, because you're busy. You're really not giving yourself opportunity to make those connections, So generally, how does,
I think also thinking in analogies, right? You will notice that people who are great in insights are always great at analogies.
Right.
They can explain things like this is like that, and this is like this, and they can connect concepts very differently, right? And I think many a times people don't like making analogies because like they fear judgment. But the brightest people are extraordinary at thinking in analogies, right? But exposure is a very interesting topic, right? A lot of people think that education is what they have to do before and not after. And my view is slightly different. I have gotten interested in many topics after my education has ended because I'm trying to find connections between the two. For example, I often I often tell the team that runs referral marketing or product growth that how does a virus spread, and can you study it fundamentally, right? And for example, the most easy to spread virus is always light, and then when it spreads, it can use the resources of the host
Right.
to become more powerful.
Yeah.
But the spreading is light, right? So, for example, if you compare a common cold virus to an HIV virus, HIV requires physical transmission, but common cold can happen through air, and although it's not as fatal,
Right.
but if you look at COVID, it was an interesting combination of being able to get both the traits in it. And the thing is that most people have no curiosity around. Everybody went through COVID. How many people researched about viruses? Or how many people researched about mRNA, which was a usage technology too, and they won the Nobel Prize. We all know all the general information, but we don't want to go to the first principles of that. And I think it's just the way you are wired.
Yeah.
I am constantly trying to make connections between things, and insights come. And I think when you ask me a question that how do you know you've got an insight is, there is a genuine moment in your head that feels like a bulb light, right? And there's a study done in fMRI machines that when people get insights, that actually neural pathways light up, right? In the fMRI machine.
Right.
So you will feel that. But are you good at the insight is only by testing it.
At Sparks, we aim to bring to you stories of exponential impact. We share in-depth analysis of what goes behind success stories. If you find our conversations interesting, you can join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also listen to Sparks on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or any other audio platform of your choice. If you have any suggestions on who we should invite or what topics we need to cover, just let us know in the comments. We are always listening, looking for ways to improve, and keep getting better as we go along.